Dai, China's most famous dissident, seems to be everywhere these days. Last October, he was seen dancing to the tune of Gangnam Style, and 2 months later the artist communed with British musician and admirer Elton John. Now, Dai has upped the ante with his latest venture, a new heavy metal album. All in all, not bad for a man best known for being under detention. Dai's enhanced celebrity has made him a frequent object of affection in the West, where his quirky individualism seems to conform far more neatly to its cultural values than to his own. In I Never Sorry, Alison Klayman's excellent 2012 documentary, I is seen strolling through the streets of New York, the city he called home for 12 years as a young artist. Trailed by a small entourage, Dai praises the city for its cosmopolitanism and even displays an affection for corned beef hash. Antics aside, Dai's credentials as a dissident are legitimate. Following a devastating 2008 earthquake in China's Sichuan province, Dai embarked on a quest to publish each of the names of the deceased, in the process helping reveal that shoddy schoolhouse construction contributed to the death of many school children. The Communist Party wasn't amused. Party officials routinely attempted to intimidate the artist into silence, attacking Dai and threatening him with imprisonment, or worse. Injuries he sustained while conducting research in Sichuan led to a series of headaches that, ultimately, required treatment for a cerebral hemorrhage in Germany. 2 years later, when attempting to board a flight to Hong Kong, Dai was detained and held incommunicado for months, after which he was released back to his Beijing compound. Chastened, his career as China's most visible gadfly seemed over. So the fact that Dai is able to embark on these extracurricular ventures at all is, in its way, something of a triumph. But by fanning his celebrity through what amounts to little more than publicity stunts, Dai has evolved into a bumbling parody of himself, and in the process has empowered the same force, the Chinese Communist Party, that he so regularly vilifies. Unwittingly, Dai has conformed to the party's definition of a dissident, the narcissist more attuned to the whims of foreign admirers than to the interests of his own people. In his defense, this judgment is unfair to Dai. He is, after all, only an artist and is doing what artists do, being creative and a little bit wacky and displaying the knack for publicity all at the same time. I never signed up to be the cross-bearer for China's beleaguered dissident community, and he has never claimed to speak for his countrymen. He is simply an artist who, through clever use of celebrity and a fearless disposition, has emerged as the face of China's disorganized opposition. This phenomenon isn't unique to China. Russia's Pussy Riot, an anti-establishment punk group unceremoniously tossed in prison for performing at a Moscow cathedral, attracted widespread sympathy from the West as symbols of then Prime Minister now President Vladimir Putin's repressive rule. Yet in a segment of Public Radio International's The World, Russian-American artist Lena Simone argues persuasively that Pussy Riot only strengthens Putin's hand by cheapening Russian norms of dissent. As in China, many Russians have quietly suffered after challenging the country's authoritarian rule. So while Dai amuses his admirers, Liu Xiaobo, the Nobel Peace Laureate, rots in a prison cell where he is serving an 11-year sentence for subversion of state power. Liu's wife, Liu Xia, remains under house arrest where she is only occasionally permitted to speak to the media. An AP story from last December described her grim situation. Liu said she has been confined to her duplex apartment in downtown Beijing with no internet or outside phone line and is only allowed weekly trips to buy groceries and visit her parents. "We live in such an absurd place," she said. "It is so absurd. I felt I was a person emotionally prepared to respond to the consequences of Liu Xiaobo winning the prize. But after he won the prize, I really never imagined that after he won, I would not be able to leave my home. This is too absurd. I think Kafka could not have written anything more absurd and unbelievable than this." Recently, 2 Hong Kong-based journalists were beaten and detained by Chinese authorities while filming an activist's attempt to meet Liu Xia. Dai's cherubic, bearded face is far more familiar to Chinese and foreign audiences than Liu Xiaobo's, a man whose appearance resembles the mild-mannered professor he once was. But it is people like Liu, and this young man, whose experience best exemplifies the plight of political opposition in China. Dai, for all his popular appeal, is an exceptional figure, one who, in spite of all of his tremendous bravery, can still be dismissed as a charlatan. And that, for the Communist Party, is precisely the point.